What's going on, family? It's Derek Wood bringing you another exclusive episode of Kingdom Access for Thy Kingdom Carriers magazine. I'm here with the internationally acclaimed Dr. Richard Pinder. How you doing today, sir?
Excellent, Derek. Good to see you, man. Bless you.
Good to be seen. Now, it might be, I don't know where these people might be, but it might be somebody who don't know who Dr. Richard Pinder is. Why don't you tell them a little bit about your story?
Sure, be delighted to. At the age of 15, in Nassau, Bahamas, where I am from, where I grew up, I gave my life to the Lord. And I've been involved in Christian ministry for over 30 years now. I decided to go to Oral Roberts University after finishing high school, and did not know very much about Oral Roberts University, but the Lord told me that's where you should go. I had heard about Dr. Miles Monroe because of his popularity with a contemporary singing group in the country. Yeah. It was the #1 contemporary Christian singing group at that time.
Wow.
So I had heard of him, but I'd never met him. When I went to RU in 1974, we met.
Oh, wow.
It was a divine appointment.
Yeah.
We all know that now. It was a divine appointment. And he and I met. We spent just hours and hours and hours sharing during our time at ORU. He shared with me a part of what is now Bahamas Faith Ministries International.
Wow.
That he had written down.
Mm.
And because this was a vision the Lord had given him from age 15, age 14. Wow. And so he had written down whatever the Lord had given him at that point. And he shared with me what he had on the paper. He showed me what he had. And somehow from that moment we both knew we would end up working together in ministry.
Wow.
And so when we all finished school and came back to Nassau, we all went to our denominational churches that we came from, and sought to assist as best we could. But the time came when we all knew that we had to do what the Lord had called him to do.
Right.
And so initially there were 7 of us that came together to begin Bahamas Faith Ministries.
Wow.
And so that's just a little background of how I have come to be involved in what is now Bahamas Faith Ministries International.
Wow. So in getting involved, how has that evolved from 1974 to 2011 and now 2012?
What a tremendous journey.
Yeah.
What a tremendous journey. It's a tremendous journey, Derek. We realize, looking back, how the Lord worked his plan.
Yeah.
Let me say it that way. It was his plan. He worked. We went to Oral Roberts University, I believe primarily for 2 things. One, to gain the exposure, to see what God could do. Being around Oral Roberts University and around Oral Roberts himself, there's no way you could remain the same. There's no way your faith could remain the way it was when you came there. And so it grew. Our faith grew, and we saw what God could do. The second reason I believe that we went there was to understand that God was bigger than our little island.
Ain't that something?
And so what God had spoken to Dr. Monroe, coming from the environment of Oral Roberts University, we realized it was indeed possible. And so we began in faith.
Wow.
And it's been a tremendous journey of faith. It has been just exciting watching God work his plan. It's his plan, and he worked it.
Yeah.
As I said, we began initially with 7. Then people heard that we were meeting together just to pray. People started coming and joining us for prayer. And that's how the ministry began. It began in prayer.
Wow. Just a prayer group.
Just a prayer.
A prayer group of 7.
Yes, we came together just to pray, share the word, encourage each other.
That was a powerful number.
Yes, isn't it?
7 to now, it's impacting nations all around the world.
Millions, all people
You know,
all over.
I've met
the
people
world.
at Bahama Faith that came as far as Papua New Guinea,
Yes.
the Philippines,
Yes.
South Africa, the United Kingdom,
All over.
you know,
All
Iceland, Fuji,
All
you
over.
know,
All
and
over.
just from that one little island, that group of 7, and this vision.
It's amazing. It's really amazing what God will do. It just proves that it has nothing to do with the size of your island. It has to do with the size of your faith in the God that you trust.
Now, it's a lot of people that's struggling right now. They've been exposed to the original concept and the original ideas of the Bible, and they're stuck in their denominations, and you know they don't have a desire to start nothing great. I mean, what kind of word of encouragement? Just hearing that, starting out of a prayer meeting, what type of word of encouragement can you give to that man or woman that's, you know, just watching you right now, that's going through that struggle right now?
Well, I think one of our challenges is that we have allowed our denominational experiences to limit us. Don't allow your denominational experience to limit you. All denominations came out of a move of God. But a move of God is not all of God. And I think that's where we get confused sometimes. Derek.
Yeah.
We confuse a move of God with being all of God. And that's where you can find yourself in a rut, so to speak. God is always revealing himself and his plans. And I believe that, you know, the message that he's opening up, I believe he is restoring today an understanding of the message of the kingdom.
Wow.
Because that is what Jesus preached. He preached about the kingdom. And the other challenge that we are faced with many times is that we see the Bible simply as a religious book. It's not a religious book. It's really a book about God revealing himself and his plan.
Wow.
And so when we begin to approach it from that perspective, we begin to realize that this is about a king. God, the King of all kings. That's one of his titles, huh? Or should I say his descriptions. I mean, it's difficult to, you know, fully describe God. But that's, you know, he uses those titles to give us a little glimpse of what he really is. But one of those is King of all kings. So when we approach the Bible in that way, we begin to realize that this book is about the king. It's about his kingdom called heaven, how he operates. And then we understand that he wanted to expand that influence through man in a domain called earth. And so when Jesus came, he talked about this kingdom because that's really what it's about. It's not about religion. Religion has never helped a single person. Do you realize that?
It seems like it's most of these wars I see that's being fought, you know, with Islam and all that stuff in the Middle East is fought in the name of some type of religion.
And fought in the name of some type of religion.
People feel some type of way if you talk about their religion, boy, they get real defensive. You know, and one of the things I'm seeing with a lot of people talking about the kingdom, you know, I see a lot of people who's grew up in religion for so many years was like, well, what's the difference between the kingdom and Jesus? How are we separating it now? You know, that this kingdom movement. That's what people are.
Well, I think. Let me just respond to that for a moment. I think it's not that difficult, because when you, as I said, when you approach the Bible from the perspective of understanding that it's about the King, it's about his kingdom, it's about his influence, it's about us having access to that kingdom and to the King, to cause his influence to be seen on earth. It's a totally different approach. One of the difficulties with religion, even Christianity, is that we were brought up with the mindset, and I grew up in the church, okay, from I was this high.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so, but we were brought up with a mindset that we need to hurry up and get out of here as quick as possible.
Let's fly away.
Let's fly away. Let's get out of here. Now, yes, the way the world presently exists is not the way it will eventually exist. That's correct. But if we all take off in a hurry, will we ever change it? No, we won't. We're here to bring the king's influence while we are here. We're here to bring that influence on the earth. Why? Because the earth was made for man and given to man.
Wow.
And so we should not be in a hurry to leave before time. You know, we should have the Paul attitude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm becoming more and more intrigued
Yeah.
with Paul's attitude at the end of his ministry time.
Wow.
Here's a statement. I don't know what I should do. I'm paraphrasing it slightly.
Yeah.
Whether I should leave, which is better for me, or to stay, which is better for you. Now, my question, reading that is, does that sound like somebody who wants to escape, who just can't wait to get out of here? Who just, this old wicked world, I want to get out of here. No, that sounds like someone who understands that he is the salt.
Yeah.
He is the yeast. He is the light. So he's not in any hurry to leave. And he understands, I believe, that if he stays, he can influence.
Wow.
So he's betwixt and between. Should I go and be with the king, which is better for me, he says, but it's better for you if I stay. Because if I stay, I can influence the earth.
Influence. That's powerful. We're going to take a break and we're going to come right back and we're going to talk a little bit about this influence. So stay right there and we'll be right back.